It is February 25th. This is WGTV Today. I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best. Good morning.
Oh, good morning. How are you, Kim?
I'm great. I love our new set.
I know. It took me all night to build this thing.
You did a daggone good job,
well,
Wayne.
you know.
You worked hard.
Yeah, okay, maybe not. Anyway, thanks for being with us this morning. This is WGTV Today. We have a great lineup today.
Yes,
Who's on today's program?
We do. Wayne, we have Life Lights, which is through Wages for Children's Council.
Right.
It is a child abuse prevention awareness event. We have Commissioner Steve Keene that'll be on.
That's good.
And then we have Paige Leonard, which is the Crime Stoppers coordinator, here to tell us about some things that she needs help with.
All right. So
we have a good lineup today.
Oh, it's Monday already. Can you believe that? I hope you had a good weekend.
Did, absolutely.
Yeah. Let's see what we have today. Oh, yes. I do want to mention, coming up March 9th at the Wayne County Public Library, this is a big deal. It's Discover Tech, and I'll tell you in the next segment or two about what Discover Tech is, but keep that in mind. March 9th, you'll want to mark, that's on a Saturday, you want to mark that on your calendar, and you will want to go to this thing. A lot of fun, for one thing, and a lot of interest as well.
That's right. Well, I also wanted to talk about, we're having a transportation forum that'll be taking place through the Chamber of Commerce, but it's taking place at Goldsboro Country Club. It is a transportation forum where we're learning more about what is to come and what the future plans are of transportation for Eastern North Carolina. It is an event that you need to pre-register. You can call the Chamber of Commerce at 734-2241. It will be taking place this Thursday, February the 28th. I believe today may be the final day to pre-register if you're interested in being a part of the Transportation Forum. Okay,
coming up tomorrow, Tuesday, the 26th at 7 p.m. in the Wages Kitchen.
Oh, what's taking place there?
A Hispanic food demonstration presented by Caminando Juntos Club of the Wayne County Extension and Community Association. That's tomorrow evening, 7 o'clock at the Wages Kitchen. Demonstration by the Caminando Juntos Club of Wayne County.
Wonderful. Do you have any birthdays or any events that are taking place today in time?
Yes. Right here. In fact, it's part of the calendar. Today being February 25th, 1793 was the year. I remember it well.
Do you?
This was the day when George Washington, our president, convened the very first U.S. cabinet meeting at his home at Mount Vernon, of course.
At his home?
At his home, yes. In the kitchen cabinet. Inventor Samuel Colt, patented the revolver this day, 1836. The year was 1919, when Oregon made the mistake of becoming the first U.S. state to tax gasoline. Grrr.
It's been there ever since.
And Your Show of Shows was one of my favorites back in 1950, and I'm serious about that. It was one of my favorites. You may remember Sid Caesar and Imogene Coca. The show, Your Show of Shows, debuted on NBC TV. Your Show of Shows writers included Carl Reiner, Neil Simon, Woody Allen.
Oh, wow, what a lineup.
And Mel Brooks. Those were the writers. Wow. And it went on from there. Your Show of Shows. A very funny show. 22-year-old Cassius Clay defeated Sonny Liston. 1964, 22-year-old Cassius Clay defeated Sonny Liston to become the world heavyweight boxing champion. Clay, of course, later changed his name to Muhammad Ali. The Beatles began filming their second movie, 8 Arms to Hold You. That was the original title. Later on, they titled it Help.
Did you ever see that?
1965. Help? Oh, yes.
Did you?
Oh, yes. Saw it when it came out. Yeah, 1965.
Oh, wow. I bet there was a lot of excited people when the Beatles had their movie.
I'm telling you, it was.
They were such a phenomenon anyway.
They were, and in the middle 60s, I mean, apparently we were looking for something different anyway. I mean, just we in general.
Yeah, society.
And that's what happened. The Beatles, the British invasion happened with the Beatles and the Dave Clark Five and Chad and Jeremy and all these other guys there. And it was interesting and it was a lot of fun. It kind of melted into something else in the early 70s, but you get the idea.
Each decade is different. You know, we sort of have something different we're focusing on. Each decade, you know, the youth and the older folks sort of come together, and we either have a common And it's always around music, it seems.
Yeah, it seems.
But we have a common group or two that we're
Yeah.
listening to, or it's totally branched apart, and the youth listen to a few, and then the older generation listen to
You're
some.
so right about that. And, you know, my theory is, and this is strictly my thinking,
Okay, Wayne's
so
thinking.
we're in danger already, but my thinking is it doesn't start at the beginning of a decade. It starts
Okay.
in the middle. If you think about it, when
Okay.
World War II ended, the music changed in 1945. 1955, you had Elvis. Around the middle 50s. And then in the middle 60s, of course, the Beatles. And then in the middle 70s, things started changing over even more. You had
So
disco.
Wayne is right. It's happening in the middle of the...
In the middle of the decade. In the middle of the decade, in the 55, 65, 75, you had disco.
Interesting observation, Wayne.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, birthdays today.
Yes.
See what we have.
Who do we
Oh,
have?
by the way, the Passion of Christ opened this day 2004. Gosh, that's 9 years ago. I cannot believe that. Mel Blanc.
He'll love that.
Mel Gibson's movie, The Passion of Christ. Also, having birthdays today, Tia Leone is 47, Sean Astin is 42, love his dad. Birthday today for Carrot Top. You know Carrot Top,
Yes.
the comedian?
Oh, yeah, the
He's
comedian.
46. Birthday today for Julio Iglesias. He's Junior is
How old is he?
40 today.
Is he really?
Junior is 40.
I didn't know
And
he
you know,
was-
he and Dad didn't always see
I know.
eye to eye,
We've
did
heard
they?
that through the years.
Yes, isn't that a shame? That's too bad. Also, Sally Jesse Raphael.
Oh, happy birthday, Sally.
She's 70 today. How about that? And, you know, there's a lady who's quite persistent.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't always agree with her, but you have to hand it to her. She has quite a constitution because she has been fired from so many jobs, and she continues to rise to the top.
And move forward, that's right.
I have a high regard for her.
Yeah.
All right, that's birthdays.
All right. Well, one last thing before we head off for our first interview is I want to remind everybody, save the date, April 12th and 13th. It's for Pig in the Park.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it'll be taking place at the old Waynesboro Park. It's a family-friendly event to spotlight Wayne County's history and its barbecue tradition.
Oh, boy.
There'll be pig cooking contest, lots of food, vendors, music, activities for kids. It's fun for the entire family. All proceeds will benefit the Boys and Girls Club.
Well, yeah, there you
The
go.
Boys and Girls Club.
All right.
If you want to visit their website, it's piginthepark.com, and it'll give you a lot of additional information
Huh?
information about activities that will be taking place for those 2 days. So that is, once again, April 12th and 13th. Plan to attend.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
All
that'll be a
right.
fun day or two.
A few days ago, I spoke with some folks with wages,
Yes.
or representing wages, actually, and there's an event coming up at Berkeley Mall, I believe, right?
Yes.
Coming up soon, and you'll want to pay attention to this. This is so
That's
important.
right. It is very important. They're calling it Life Lights. It is our very first interview for the day, so pay attention and really listen to what we've got to say.
Today we're talking with Jennifer Dupuis and Lee Mitchell, and you're here representing wages, and it's about an event that's going to be coming up here pretty soon, isn't it? February 26th, I believe. All right, who wants to tell me about what's going on?
We are having a Life Lights for Children candlelight vigil, and also a children's art auction, which is being held to recognize child abuse prevention awareness and to shed a positive light of prevention in the community and to educate the public about child abuse prevention, as well as have an art auction to display children's artwork from our children here from Wayne County Public Schools, as well as daycares in Wayne County and the Wages program, the
All right.
Wages Head Start program.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground already here. Now, you mentioned the art, the children's art. This is going to be auctioned off, is that right?
Yes.
All right, you brought a sample with you. Hold that up right there. And if you would, do you know anything about this particular artist or this work of art?
I do not.
It's beautiful.
However, the student is from North Drive Elementary School, where the art teacher is Mrs. Amy Kennedy.
Okay, Mrs. Kennedy and North Drive School.
Yes, and the description is a heart to love.
How about that? That's nice. Now, what age group are we talking about children being involved with this particular project?
We have from preschool all the way to middle school age children. This particular piece is from a 4th grade student at North Drive Elementary, and we've gotten a couple of pieces from middle schools as well. So preschool all the way up to middle school.
All right. And are these children just in general, from the general population, or are these children who have been identified as being abused?
No, no, they are just children from our community.
Just from the general population. All right.
Yes.
All right, that's good. What can you tell me about, or can you tell me about the status of this, or the situation of abused children in the Wayne County area? People don't like to think about it. People don't even like to talk about it because it's one of those taboo subjects. You just don't talk about that because it's such a horrible thing. What do we know about it here in Wayne County?
Now here in Wayne County, last year we had over 1,600 reports of child maltreatment.
In 1 year?
Yes.
Over 1,600
yes.
reports?
Yes, exactly.
And that doesn't say you have no idea how many go unreported.
Right. It is a very underreported incidence. It goes underreported. I think a lot of people don't know really what to do as far as the process of reporting.
I've got an idea, but we can't talk about what I would suggest. But I have no patience for a child abuser. Now, you meant the word you used was not abuse. What did you say? The report of
maltreatment, child maltreatment.
Maltreatment.
Because there are all types of abuse.
That's what I was.
There's not just physical abuse when you hear of abuse and neglect, but maltreatment. There's physical, sexual, emotional, verbal abuse, as well as maltreatment where the child may not be nourished within the home, you know, not being fed or clothed. So there are various types of abuse, and most of us just think that the abuse is physical when it's not.
And this crosses all boundaries, does it not?
It sure does. It sure does. It knows no discrimination against ethnic backgrounds, socioeconomic status.
Regardless.
It's regardless, exactly.
What do we know about it? Is there a thread that links any of this at all together, or do we just not know?
As far as
reasons for abuse or maltreatment?
A lot of times when there is abuse or maltreatment in the home, there's also substance abuse or mental illness present in the home as well.
Okay.
It could be a single family home where that single parent may have various stressors, such as work, maybe even being underpaid, and then having to deal with the child or children at home, and just life stressors cause us, you know, as individuals, different things in life.
So while you mentioned there could be a correlation between drug abuse or drinking or something like that, a lot of times that's not the case, and it's just simply the stress of everyday living.
Exactly right.
Problems at work. You mentioned perhaps I don't get paid enough money and I'm mad at the world and I'm going to take it out on my children. But that's not the thought either. They don't think about this in advance. Is that the case usually?
Yes, exactly.
They don't think about it in advance. They're striking out.
Right.
And the child happens to be there.
Right.
In many cases, I would imagine. And a lot of times people will think of a child abuser as being a really, really mean person. But that's, I would have to think, not the case either.
No, that's definitely not always the case.
It's not always
the case.
Just someone who perhaps loses control.
Exactly.
What else do we know?
Well, in North Carolina, each day over 350 children are being or reported as being abused or neglected. 350? And that's a day.
That's horrible. That is just horrible. What happens to these children? When there is a report made, what happens?
Every report that is made is investigated either by the police or the social services, and they take a family-centered, strength-based approach to their investigation, and they try to recognize the the factors that are present in the parent's life and help them to overcome their challenges and focus on what their strengths are instead of stressing out about all the negative aspects in their lives.
I can't help but feel that some of the general feeling about someone who abuses their child is that the general feeling is that, well, it's either a bad person or they have a mental condition or there's something else that's driving them to do this. But that's not the case either, is it? Would you say?
Yes, exactly.
These are not people who are mentally unstable. These are people, as I mentioned, who lose control.
There are instances where there is mental illness or substance abuse, but there are a lot of times also where it's just the stress of parenting, the challenges that it presents, other factors about life getting in the way, just to an average person.
So what does someone do if they know of someone else who's abusing a child? Because, you know, there are people who say, well, I don't want to get involved here, or I don't want to have to go to court, or I don't want to have to be a witness, or I don't want to have to get in trouble with my neighbor. What does someone do?
If someone knows that a child is being abused, please, by all means, that person should contact a local a police department or local agency to report, as well as contact your local social services in the area to state, you know, I suspect an abuse that's going on, and it's anonymous. So your reporting is anonymous.
It is anonymous, so they don't actually have to be involved with, as long as, because it goes from there to an investigation. Right.
Right.
So what happens to a person who is found to be under investigation? Once they're under investigation, what happens to the person?
Well, a need of services will be put in place for that person, that child or children who are all involved, whatever type of scenario.
Okay. All right. So I'm not here, and I don't want to, and I'm sure you don't want to either get so wrapped up in the story that we don't forget about what we're trying to do here.
Right.
All right. It's Life Lights for Children. It's a candlelight vigil and art auction in support of child abuse prevention. This is February 26th. That's a Tuesday, isn't it?
Yes.
That's Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
At 7 o'clock at Berkeley Mall at the center stage, and beginning at 7 p.m. And I hope you're able to attend. So people who attend, what are you asking them to do? Of course, we want you to buy art, okay? Buy art, and it's going to be an art auction. Okay. Well, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yes.
That's going to be fun.
An art auction displaying the children of Wayne County, from early childhood to your middle school age children.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. Okay. And we'll also be there with materials, educational materials for people that they can come and pick up and just learn more about ways that they can prevent or help prevent child abuse, and ways that they can help make their community more aware.
Ways to help support us in the vigil, as well as outside the vigil, is to serve on the Wayne County for Children Council, to becoming a volunteer, a sponsor, helping us report child abuse and neglect, whether you suspect it or not, and then most importantly, promoting good parenting and the optimal health and safety of the children in our county.
All right, very good. I also want to add that just because someone is accused of child abuse doesn't mean they did it. Are guilty of it, and it doesn't mean that someone's going to lose their child. People are always afraid of that. They're not going to report it because they're afraid something like that may happen. That's not always the case. But indeed, if you know of anyone who possibly could be a child abuser, it's important that it's reported.
Yes, and it's also the law.
It's also the law. There you go. Over 1,600 reported cases of child abuse in Wayne County alone last year. Over 350 reported cases of child abuse in the state of North Carolina every day. This is Tuesday evening, 7 o'clock at Berkeley Mall. the art auction, the Life Lights for Children Candlelight Vigil. We hope you're able to attend. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Jennifer Dupuis and Lee Mitchell.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we're back on WGTV today. It is a Monday. Whoa, here we come to you there. Well, that even scared me.
I love it.
I do too. Thanks for being with us. It is a Monday, all right. The 25th of the month of February. Only 3 days left after today, of course. The 26th, 17th. Yeah, 3 days after today.
That's right. February's gone, just like that.
I know. I know.
Spring will be here before we know it.
Spring's going to be done sprung, son.
That's exactly
Something like
right.
that anyway.
That's right. Well, Wayne,
boy.
there's a Women in Business seminar that's going to be taking place free of charge Wednesday, March the 6th.
Okay.
At Wayne Community College. It's from 9 until 10. It's in honor of Women's History Month. It's a series of seminars entitled Women in Business. It will be held beginning on Wednesday, March 6th, and it will continue after that. They'll give us the dates a little later. Light breakfast will be served at this event. They ask for you to pre-register online at www.ncsbc.net. ncsbc.net. For more information, you can call Wayne Community College at 739-6940, and that's if you want to attend Women in Business seminars.
There you go. Well, if you are of age,
Yes.
AARP tax volunteers are going to be at the Veterans Building, on East Ash Street. This is right next door now to the to Peggy Seeger's Senior Center.
Oh, yes.
Next door in Goldsboro, every Tuesday and Wednesday from 9 to 5, AARP tax volunteers. Taxes will be done for you, or with you rather, on a first-come, first-served basis now until April 10th. Seniors receiving priority on this now. If you're a senior, this is great. Now, it'll help you out a lot. No appointments will be given, no appointments at all. First-come, first-served. Seniors getting priority. The AARP tax assistant will need your W-2s, your Form 1099s, your proof of Social Security income. So bring proof of donations, vehicle taxes, home taxes, mortgage interest, and out-of-pocket medical expenses. Each taxpayer must bring a Social Security card and a photo ID.
All right. That's
And
nice that they're offering that, though.
is.
That'll be really a help for many people here in our community.
It certainly will.
Yeah.
It certainly will.
Well, there is a 2013 SHAD tournament coming up, Wayne.
No,
Yes,
is there really?
It is. It's going to be Saturday, March the 16th. It starts early in the morning,
Yeah.
7 a.m., and it'll last until 4 p.m. This is a fishing tournament, of course. It is co-sponsored by Goldsboro Parks and Recreation and Easy Bait and Tackle.
Oh, yeah.
Easy Bait and Tackle have been, they've been sponsoring this event for about 8 or 9 years now.
They have.
And this is the first year that City of Goldsboro and Parks and Recreation have joined in with them. And I think it's a great event, and it's for all ages. They have a youth category, then they, of course, have adult fisher, men and women.
Fishermen and fisher persons.
Fisher persons. That's
Fisher,
right.
Fisher things.
It's a $10 entry fee per angler.
Yeah. Oh.
They're going to have all different kinds of prizes, first through fourth places. They'll have door prizes. Almost everybody that goes is going to be able to get some kind of little reward for attending that day.
That's great.
Saturday, March 16th, you can go to Goldsboro Parks and Recreation website, Facebook page, stop by Herman Park Center to find out more about it. The number is 739-7480. Easy Bait and Tackle. And they have a long list of sponsors that have been a part of this organization and sponsored it for the entire time. It's 7 or 8 years. I'm not sure how long it's been, but they said every year the same group sponsors them and really supports this, and they're trying to get more and more youth to participate. So here we go, March 16th.
And I've got a secret.
What is that?
The secret is that Gary Bevel's birthday is this week, but don't tell anyone.
Happy birthday, Gary.
Yeah. He's 16.
Aww.
Okay, maybe not. Anyway, also the annual Senior Games Health Fair is coming up at the Seeger Senior Center, coming up March 7th from 10 until 12:30. Last year they had over 30 vendors, and this year they expect even more. Free health screenings. Free health screenings for seniors now will be available. Seniors will be offered a light lunch, They'll also have prizes. They also ask you not to miss the event. If you have any questions at all, call Erin McAuliffe, and she is at 705-1785. 705-1785.
Let's see.
Okay.
You want to head on out? I believe we're going to see.
Well, wait 1 second.
Okay. Whoop.
Trivia question.
All right.
All right. In the 1400s,
Yes.
which I remember well, the year of, well, anyway, in the 1400s,
Yes.
judges in China would wear something to keep defendants from knowing what they were thinking. What would they wear? To keep defendants knowing what the judges were thinking, perhaps which way they were leaning.
It's something the judges would wear.
Yes. No, what she said.
Our producer said mask, and that's not
It's
right.
not the answer.
How about
Masks.
sunglasses?
I'm going to have another trivia question coming up
Is it
for
sunglasses?
you. It is sunglasses. In the 1400s.
Really, that's kind of surprising,
That is
actually. I really thought that was kind of way out there answer.
I know, and that's why I didn't think anybody would get it, but smarty pants over here.
Okay, trivia question number 2 after the interview. How about that?
After the interview, how about that?
All right, let's head on out and let's see what County Commissioner Steve Keene is going to talk to us about, and I
Yeah.
believe we're also going to see Paige Lerner from Crime Stoppers, so stay tuned.
Good. Our guest today is County Commission Chairman of the Board, Mr. Steve Keene. Steve, how are you? And
Good morning, Wayne.
thank you for being with us. This
Thank
is long overdue. I'm glad you're here.
Well, I appreciate you asking me to come this morning.
We want to get right into it. I wanted to ask you, if you would, Steve, tell us about the commissioners, the board. There's 6 commissioners representing districts and 1 commissioner at large, so it's a total of 7. Tell us a little about the commissioners, who they are. Tell us about them.
Well, we have Ed Cromartie, who was appointed here a month or so ago, and he is representing the Dudley Mount Olive area mainly, and John Bell representing the city of Goldsboro.
Right.
Then we have Ray Mayo, who's vice chair, and his area is up in the northwestern part. Then Bill Pate over in the northeastern part. And then we have Joe Dottery, that's sort of in the Walnut Creek back into the municipality of Goldsboro. And then Bill Pate, who did I
Wayne
mention Bill?
Aycock.
Wayne Aycock.
Yeah.
Then Wayne Aycock, he's at large member.
Okay.
And I have the southern part or southwestern part in the Grantham, Rosewood, Marmac area.
So Wayne County is divided into 6 districts, and then there's one at large that kind of represents all.
Yes,
the
Wayne,
area.
we have around 122,000 in the county, and Wayne represents all of them, and we have about 21 to 22,000 in each district.
You know, I've seen Wayne County grow tremendously over the last few years since I've been paying attention. But, and this is a great thing. We're growing very quickly.
Well, we're growing. In 2000, the census was around 113,000.
All right.
And then if you break it down and look at what we've done in the last 10 years, the census in 2010, yes, we grew around 9,800 people, right. 9,800. But the statistics also break down how we grew. We only grew around 400, a little less than 450 white. And we grew around 840 to 50 African American. But we also brought in into the county 6,500 Hispanics and 1,000 Haitian and Asian. So you have a breakdown of exactly, not the numbers, but who exactly came in, and that affects, of course, your per capita income. You have to look at that. And then you look at schools and education and those children of the workers. So we're
very diversified in our population.
Very. A melting
great.
pot.
That's great. Well, the commissioners met recently in January for a day-long retreat, and you did this to set priorities. Tell us about that process and how it works.
Whenever we were elected in November, we came in right in the middle of a budget year. So we have 2012-13. When we came in the middle, especially with 4 new commissioners, it was important to understand those funds, where they were going, how they were going to be spent in this budget. A lot of them knew coming in by studying the budget, but once getting involved and seeing the dollars that are going to have to be spent in different programs, the monies that are going to be spent in facilities, just not education, but all the facilities that the county owns in those areas, along with health care that is causing such a stir in Raleigh and certainly on the national level. We look at the physical health and particularly mental health. So we're having to look at all health services. So as we look at health services, the facilities, and of course, you know, the sheriff has the interest of the jail. And then we look at all of these in the library in Mount Olive and the bricks and mortar, as I call it. As you look at all of the county properties, you have to, I think, understand as commissioners that we have to set those priorities. And you only have about 5 months before the budget. And all 7 of us were elected at the same time. So we don't come in staggered like municipalities or the Board of Education. All 7 of us come on at the same time. And being elected at the same time with 4 new commissioners, understanding where we're going to go in our budget for the next 5 months, we have to start understanding those dollars.
So Steve, dealing with the budget as commissioners do, how do you do that? How do you plan it? How do you go through that process?
What we're doing after the election in November, December was a time of transition. Basically, the honeymoon's over.
Yeah.
and in January, we went right out and looked at facilities, and we're working all the facilities. In February, we are looking at the health issues. Mm-hmm. And as we do that in February, we're trying to assess all of the health expenses in the county. And then in March, we're going to look at education. We have a joint meeting with the Board of Education on the 15th. We're going to hear from them exactly what they want in education as far as expenses, their physical plants, their buildings, maintenance needs. We'll be doing that in March. We will get back with them sometime the latter part of March, the first week in April, on the synopsis of what we went through and where we think we can go. And then in April, we're tying it all together. We're looking at the programs that have been submitted to the county to help them along. And then May, we're here. That's less than 90 days away. And in March, April, May, and we'll be in the final stages of looking at the big picture of the county, all the funds that are needed for everything at one time. And then we'll vote on that in June, 1st of June, to be implemented June 30 and start our new year July 1. So I think that's the consensus of the board, is to start each month and look at these areas, and we'll be here before you know it, Wayne.
You know, and you made the point that there's 4 new commissioners, 3 were reelected, 4 new commissioners, and there has to be, this is a major responsibility for anyone. It has to be a large learning curve there.
It is a large learning curve, yeah. But we all do understand our physical responsibility or physical policy of the county, and also the taxing and the expenses that we have to incur through taxing, and the certainly the regulations that are set from the state level. And those appropriations that come through the state and through the federal government, and how much we actually have left in the county. Our revalve is important to understand property values, to understanding sales tax receipts.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, you made a point about what we have left over. We have a great budget. The problem is that the federal government and state government mandate so much of it that we don't have a whole lot left over as to what people would think we have left over. Am I on track here, or?
When you look at the federal government and you look at almost 80% being entitlements, mm-hmm. and then you look at the debt, you coming down into the state, and you look at the state and how we are physically responsible, the General Assembly and the governor, and you look at that line and you say, well, what is left for the counties? And then what does the counties have to come up and you have well mandated and unfunded, what they say, unfunded mandates. So as you look at the unfunded mandates, you have to do those, and those are indicators. For example, through your health department and through your DSS. But then you look at how much is left over for those programs that we've established in the county and over the years. And those programs are expensive, and they want to grow. And as they grow, they need to be financially sustained. And how do you afford the sustainability? Now you have three ways that you look at it as a commissioner. It's like a three-legged stool, Wayne. You have three legs on that stool. One is personal income tax, your per capita income, and then you have your sales tax, and then you have property tax. And if you knock or upset one of those legs, then your stool falls.
Stool falls.
And we have to be concerned about per capita income for the spending, and then of course the sales tax receipts, and that has a lot to do with our education, school. And then we look at that property tax that is so key to not tax any more than we absolutely have to. So we're concerned about those three legs, and we have to watch them very closely.
And as you pointed out, population growth will have an effect on, does have an effect with increased population in the schools, medical needs, the population growing older. You have to approach everything, considering you have to balance everything on that three-legged stool.
When we see a pie, and we know that 28 to 32% of that pie is health services, health and human services.
Wow.
In the county, then you have to say, okay, what are the programs that are supporting health and human services? And then we have, like I've said, physical, the mental. We're having areas of your LME now. That's now MCO. Your
all right, what does that mean?
That is
what
your
is an LME?
LME is a limited management entity.
Okay.
With East Point.
Okay.
It's mental health, Medicaid, but it's now a management care organization. So it's actually 12 counties now instead of 4. And Ken Jones, our director of East Point, is doing an outstanding job.
Yes.
But we have providers that are in Wayne County that are doing a great job. But we've gone through a change, and that change has come from Raleigh, indicating how we're supposed to deal with those dollars. So that's just health and human services.
Right.
And then you have, of course, the hospital, and you have the emergency room there. Even though it's not ours, it's what they can or can't handle. And then you have the providers that are helping that issue out in the county. So in the rural area, and we're still rural.
Indeed we are. We're still considered, I suppose, an agricultural community.
Absolutely.
And that's a good thing.
It is.
Speaking to the Board of Commissioners, what do you feel is that the people of Wayne County need to know about the commissioners that they may not understand about commissioners? What are the duties of the commissioners, or in other terms, what do you guys do?
Our major responsibility are 3 functions. We must establish the overall physical policy. The physical policy is developing ways to fund the physical plant, the buildings, the bricks and mortar, and to, at a certain level, to have that health and education and safety and all of those. So the responsibility is huge for it. And then, of course, regulations, setting ordinances, and not to be too regulated and with the ordinances. And the third part is just the general administration, making sure that documents are kept, and hiring the county manager and having the manager and Lee Smith and going out and managing these policies that we set. Well,
we're almost out of time here, but I could continue for a while, but I have one more question for you. We have always filmed the commissioners' meetings, but now we're actually filming the briefings and the work sessions and the meetings in an ongoing effort to keep the public informed. Talk a little bit about that, if you will, briefly.
It's all about transparency. it's all about transparency. It's every time we get together in an open meeting that we're filmed, that we use the social media. We use more than just print. We use video. We have invested in that. I'm a visual learner. I can certainly read, but I seem to adhere more to TV, visual, and I think that we need to film every time we get together. It needs to be on film. Just like here, we're filming this, and I may make a lot of mistakes on the film, but it is what it is. But we're excited about getting our faces out there for the people. They've elected us. We were not appointed, and we are serving the people, and the people need to know. I think the board is in agreement that we want the 122,000 people out there to see us, to know who we are, and if they've got any. It is in being a commissioner is different than being a state legislature or in D.C. We're seen everywhere, grocery store, drugstore, in churches, doctor's offices. We're everywhere we go. Somebody knows who we are. So we have to represent the county well. We've got to stay focused and don't get distracted. And I think that's the commissioner's goal, is to show that we are focused and we're ready to go to work. We're doing a lot, and we're excited.
Right.
We're excited about doing that one.
Excellent. Well, we sure appreciate your coming in and speaking with us today. And this is the first of many meetings with County Commission Chair Steve King. And Steve, thank you so much for being with us today. I appreciate
Wayne,
it.
thank you.
Thank you. County Commission Chairman Steve King. I'm Wayne Alley.
Joining me today is Paige Leonard with Crime Stoppers here in Goldsboro. Paige has a couple cases she would like for the community to give their input on.
Absolutely.
Paige, can you tell us what the two cases are you'd like to share with the community today?
Well, actually, both of them are going to be talking about robberies. We've had an increase in the robberies, and obviously the citizens are concerned. We're here and they want to help. I think they're out there. There's people paying attention. And both of these incidents, I believe there's probably somebody out there that's got some information that can help us. But the first one that I want to talk about was actually the one that happened on February 11th, and it happened about 9:30 p.m. We had Demetrius Lewis and Stephen Ross were actually on Landmark Drive in town. They picked up two males, decided that they would give them a ride to Day Circle, but on the way they stopped at the Kentucky Fried Chicken on Ash Street. They all got out of the car, they went to the Kentucky Fried Chicken, and at that time one of the two suspects actually pointed a gun and robbed Mr. Lewis of $500. They fled on foot and were able to see that they got in a dark colored vehicle and went north on Leslie Street. During this investigation, actually investigator, but they did identify one of the suspects. That's Jamel Wallace, and he's the one that I've brought a picture of that the public can see.
Okay.
We have outstanding warrants for this case on Jamel Wallace for robbery with a dangerous weapon. And for those who don't know him, he is a black male, 6'3", 170 pounds, and he's got a tattoo on his right forearm with the nickname Mel, like M-E-L. But what we need him, and we need the public to help identify the second suspect. We don't know who that is at this point.
So if anyone sees this individual, they need to call 911 or call the Crime Stoppers number immediately.
Absolutely.
Or if you know what happened, if you saw anything during that evening.
Even if they think we already have that information, I always tell people, call us anyways, because we may not have what they think we might have. It might be one little piece of the puzzle, you know, that we don't have. And at 9:30, the business is still open.
Right.
So there's patrons around, there's people in the parking lot, and we know somebody out there can give us some information.
Perfect. Okay, and what is your second case?
The second one was on Saturday, February 16th. That was about 8:15 p.m. We had Renee Thompson report that she was standing in the parking lot of Walmart on Spence Avenue, which is 1002 Spence Avenue. She was standing there when she was approached by a male that came up to her, grabbed her hair, pulled her jacket off of her, and fled the scene. Now, she was wearing a dark colored jacket, had like one of those fur-lined hooded collars. And her iPhone was taken, which was in a pink and gray cell phone case, which might stand out being with a guy.
If it still has the cover on it.
Right. If they kept the cover, then that might be a little unusual. But we need help in identifying that suspect. And you know, at this time, I always try to remind people, hey, You can call 911 if you see like Mr. Wallace, or you can call 911 if you want to remain anonymous with me.
Right.
Just call the 735-225 number, or you can text me at 222-4230.
And it could lead to an award, correct?
Absolutely. Anything that leads to an arrest in a felony case is eligible for rewards up to $1,000.
Well, thank you, Paige. And if you all have seen anything that happened in either one of these cases, we need your help, community. We need you to call the number behind us, or you can call 911 and give us any information you can on either one of these cases. Thank you so much for being with us, and we hope you can help us solve one of these cases. And we're back on WGTV today.
Yes, we are. Yes. Hello over there. It's the 65th annual Wayne County Junior Livestock Show and Sale. This is a big event. It's coming up April 3rd and 4th. And in fact, we have one day this week, I believe it is. We will have some folks in representing the Cooperative Extension Service.
Maybe so.
Eileen Coy's going to be with us. And she will have a guest with her who is a participant in this event. And looking forward to that. It's going to be that's going to be great.
And what's that date again?
April 3rd and 4th on the Junior Livestock Show and Sale. This is a tremendous event here.
Oh, yes.
There's dozens of young Wayne County citizens, and I'm talking about teenagers. In fact,
and
between the age of 5 and 18.
Yeah, I was going to say, and younger.
That's right. Between the ages of 5 and 18, who work really, really hard to participate in this event.
And it's not just that day. They have to work weeks and weeks and months before that, preparing and handling their animals and training. So there's a whole lot of work goes into that beforehand.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right about that. So anyway, this is going to be a lot of fun. We'll hear about it from Eileen and her guest soon.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Well, Wayne, I did want to mention, and most of the community probably has already heard, but we do want to mention, however, that the 2013 Wings Over Wayne Open House and Air Show has been canceled. We can look forward to that in 2 more years, maybe.
Yeah.
I did want to, however, tell you a statement that Colonel Levitt, Jeannie Levitt from the 4th Fighter Wing, has said to the public, and I quote, "Our decision to cease planning for the 2013 Air Show comes after careful review and consideration of the fiscal challenges the Air Force, the Department of Defense, and our nation face. We are taking prudent measures and doing our best to mitigate our budget risk and align available resources with current and emerging operational requirements." So they want to continue to be as mission ready as possible and to continue with training for the 4th Fighter Wing, and we totally understand that.
Certainly do.
And support that, and we will continue to be a partner with Seymour Johnson Air Force Base, and we'll bring you more information about the next Open House and Wings Over Wayne as soon as we know details.
Exactly. We have to remember their mission.
That's right.
Is to protect America. And
exactly.
Boy, are they doing a great job.
4th but first.
That's it.
That's right.
We love Seymour Johnson Air Force
Yes,
Base.
we do.
All right.
Trivia question.
Yes.
Trivia
I have
question.
a trivia question. The category is toys. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's
Children's toys.
Yes,
All right.
look at that. Somebody printed this book upside down again. Oh.
That's a shame.
What children's toy
Yes.
or plaything was originally used as a compound to clean wallpaper? That it was invented. It was invented to clean wallpaper, but then it was taken and used as a child's toy or plaything.
Interesting. Interesting.
I've got to get another one.
And the answer is Play-Doh. Our producer shouted guessed, and she got it right.
She's got to leave the room.
Play-Doh is the answer.
She's too blooming smart. Get out of here.
That's pretty neat, though.
Yeah, yeah. It was used to clean wallpaper. It was what they did is they took it and they coated it with Play-Doh, and then they peeled it off, and it would clean the wallpaper.
Interesting, and they thought that it was such an interesting way to mold things.
Yeah, yeah. And somebody had an idea, said,
add a little color to it.
Yeah, there you go, and that's what happened.
How about that?
Well, let's see what else we can find.
Give us another one that's a little harder, Wayne. We're just too smart.
Yes, you are.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
How about this one? No, how about that? No, let's try. No, I don't like that one either.
While Wayne's looking, let me tell you about
tell us
spending
about
the day with Claude Monet. Saturday, March.
he's not alive.
I know. Well, let's hear details.
Okay.
Saturday, March the 2nd, 10 o'clock a.m. at Arts Council of Wayne County. Where else?
Of course.
They're going to have a day of students learning about the Impressionist movement straight from the father of Impressionism himself.
Claude.
Each student will also create his or her own original masterpiece in that particular style. Let's see, $50 is the cost because they will provide all the supplies. They will have an instructor there to work with you detail by detail. Saturday, March the 2nd at the Arts Council of Wayne County.
Detail by detail.
You can call them at 736-3300 if you'd like to ask additional questions about this particular event.
I always get Monet and Manet mixed up there.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Well, how about that trivia question?
Okay. The category is games.
Games.
What game derives its name from yes and yes?
What game got its name
From
yes and yes?
yes and yes.
And it wouldn't be the game Sorry.
Sorry. I bet she knows.
I bet she does. It wasn't
Oh,
Monopoly.
I bet she does.
I bet.
It wasn't Monopoly, yes.
I'm just thinking of different languages that say yes and yes.
Let's think.
American name?
Well, let's see. We'll let everybody ponder.
Oh, yeah, we're going to ponder.
Yes,
Let's ponder.
think about that for a few minutes.
Think about that.
Let's see.
Yes
As we move
and
forward.
yes.
Let's see. All right, think about it. Oh.
Are we? The answer to the question.
You going to tell us now? All right.
She says, go ahead and tell us now.
All right, tell
I
us.
think because she just wants to know.
What is it?
Well, it's often mispronounced. Ouija.
Really? And that came from yes and yes?
We and ya. It's
Oh, it's supposed
spelled
to be
O-U-I-J-A. Is pronounced. They pronounce it Ouija.
Okay.
Spelled out J-I.
Interesting.
I think it's J-A, isn't it?
I don't remember. I
Anyway,
haven't
that's
played
where
that
it came
in a long
from.
time.
That's where it came from. Originated.
So like the Ouija board?
Yeah.
Is that what that is?
The Ouija
Okay.
board.
Interesting. Got its name from yes and yes.
Well, French for we
Uh-huh.
and German for ja.
How about that?
How about that?
We learned something new today, a piece of trivia.
We did?
We did.
Does that wrap it up for today?
That wraps it up
We're
for
done?
today. It does. We are finished and complete.
Where's the time go? We just got here.
I know we did. I know
All
we
right,
did.
well, join us again tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock right here on Wgtv. And then if you missed that show, you can catch the repeats at noon, at 5:30, and then again later in the evening. Or go online to waynegov.com and click on the YouTube link, and boom, there you are. Or
You can go to goldsboronc.gov, click on WGTV, or either the YouTube link, and we have it there as well. We also have the City of Goldsboro and the County of Wayne have Facebook pages that you can go to and see what's happening right there. It's happening throughout our community. Thank you for being with us today. We hope you've learned more about what's happening here in Goldsboro and Wayne County.
so until tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock, I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best, and this was WGTV Today.